a phrase I've heard often. Always following a heart-hardening story that I could never seem to soften. I remember when my boy told me, if I only had 2 seconds of hope. It all started with just a magazine. And then from the magazine to a TV screen, and from the TV screen to a computer screen that had chain links of fantasies. It was insanity, and I never wanted anybody to see it, so I would just control history and delete it. I never knew this is where I'd end up. I wish I could just get rid of this feeling, because now these eyes of mine keep wandering, squandering my thoughts, fictitiously pondering every single time I see her walk by. Why do I gotta be the perverted guy when I feel like she's the one dressing to impress my eye? I wonder if he notices me every time I walk this way. She told me. I remember it like it was yesterday. But I never knew that day would become my everyday. Replay on repeat, it's become my identity. I remember the room was empty when he walked through the door. I was playing innocently on the floor as he sinfully adored my fragile, young purity, and he promised he wouldn't hurt me. Confused, I could only fearfully play along as he began to strip away my modesty. Fondling with my humanity, this became my reality, and if I only had 2 seconds to cry out to someone who could hear me, maybe I wouldn't be dressing like this so you could hear me. If I only had 2 seconds of hope. My black brother once told me to gain back my dignity. If only the darkness of my skin didn't cause lights to flash red and blue every time I looked or dressed anything other than white, maybe I would feel like I'd had the right of an American. Or should I say Christian? Maybe I'd feel like I could fit into your spiritual family if you stopped quoting people who separated, owned, and murdered my literal family. Please, don't put on a color blindfold. Just be color mindful. You just assume that person laying dead in the street was up to no good. Just another kid from the hood. Yeah, just another kid that looks like me. Am I next? If I only had 2 seconds of hope. She said, this depression is pressing on my mind, strangling my heart, and I'm struggling to play the part of happy me, because this front I keep putting on is the very thing that keeps putting me back. But I'm afraid I'd be in the back of your mind if I were to lay the truth in front of you. I'm just trying to be everything you expect me to be. What more can I do for you to be accepting of me? If I only had 2 seconds of hope. Called me in tears. Less than 5 pounds of pressure it takes for me to pull this trigger. One click for this clip to strip my body's will to survive. My cries have been ignored for far too long, and only death is left to welcome my absence along. For a while now, I've been contemplating about making this statement, and I'm afraid of what's waiting for me on the other side. But I have no hope left here. If I only had 2 seconds of it echoed throughout the ears and hearts of everyone around him. Pah, 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 as the nails were driven through his hands and feet. What a feat it was to be handed over for our iniquity. It's sickening the sin in me that would cause my God to become a human being everything that I can't be. Your sympathy turned empathy as the penalty of the enemy, me, was laid on you. Your body bruised, hanging on that tree, drowning in your own blood as it flooded your very lungs, suffocating through the suffering. Your death would suffice for my eternity, but it wasn't the end for you. And it was just the beginning for me. Because 3 days later you rose, defeating the very thing that was defeating me. You see, these 2 seconds of hope are really 2 points in history. all having to do with his story that has already been finished but not yet done. The first I just told you. The second is still to come. So I plead with you, brother, and I plead with you, sister. Hold fast to this hope that assures you that no matter how far your eyes wander, they'll always wander back to the cross. Lost purity found washed in his blood-stained pigment, whose image is every bit of black that it is white, and crosses borders to deem us new citizens who are accepted not by what we can do for him, but for what he has already done for us. Like his death for all life. Like his death for all life. So here we are, in the midst of this great chasm of 2 points in history, eagerly awaiting the day our Savior returns to complete his story. But as for now, we wait. We persevere, we endure, and we fight for this hope that is to come.